Day 3, this is test your prototype with the user. So I'd say it's the first step here. Look at your app and think about and look at your flow that you focused on in the prototyping phase, and think about the different contexts that people may be in when they are using that, or when they would think to use that. Um, I think oftentimes we look at the experiences that we build and just say, well, if someone wants to check their bank balance, am I showing the bank balance? Yes, I am. And then there's a lot of visual design input on it. And maybe think about the context. Someone may be checking their bank balance and think about how they may react if it's lower than they thought, higher than they thought. Um, Things that may be meaningful to them in that moment. What led to that? Did they get a statement saying that there was potential fraudulent charge? Did they get a statement saying they bounced a check or overdrafted? Did they get some sort of notification about a deposit they weren't expecting? All those scenarios, how they may approach it, what they see, and how they may react to it afterwards. But think about this context as you're potentially running these tests, because people look at information differently given different contexts, and they go into information differently given different contexts, and they leave the experience differently given different contexts. They take next steps differently. So just something to consider as you set up for these tests. Maybe it is you wake up in the morning, you see a message on your phone saying there's potentially a fraudulent charge on your bank account. You decide to log into your app, and this is what you see, right? Put them in that realistic situation. Ask them to complete these 1 or 2 tasks and talk through their thought process. Ask them to think aloud. Sometimes you can give an example of what thinking aloud sounds like. Sometimes that helps, but get them to talk through their process. Note any confusion or friction, and if you can, follow up with those questions. So I noticed you struggled right here. Can you tell me more about what was going through your mind? But do that at the end. So get them to go through it naturally first, and then at the end, take those notes and ask those questions. You can do this multiple times. You can do it in many iterations if you want to make tweaks to your prototype, and just jot down. Here it says 3 key observations from usability session, but I would say jot down all of the highly challenging or high risk observations from those sessions, and share them out. This is a really valuable thing to do, to just get in the habit of running usability tests without all of the overhead of drafting a plan and a discussion guide, but just to get into the habit of conducting them well and being present with someone and having that conversation with them. Or if you do it in a moderated way, test or unmoderated way, testing your ability to sort of stage this in a way that gets you the results that you need. So one of my favorite things. It should be exciting, and I look forward to hearing what your results were.